Hello guys, Nilesh here back with another tutorial. So today in this video, I will teach you how to get realistic render inside Vray for SketchUp. And here are some render image. Looks pretty good, right? And before beginning, there are two major things that you need to do first. The first one is to delete all the unwanted 3D blocks and material. To do so, head to Windows, Model Info and purge all your unused blocks. For materials, head to Asset Editor and under Material, just click on this Purge Unused Asset, then simply purge. And the second one is assigning the material. As you know that SketchUp contains all the material, and to begin with V-Ray, we have to assign those material. Now to do so, head to Extension, V-Ray, File Path Editor. Then select all these and click on Archive and Repath by creating a separate folder. Right now I'm done with it, so it shows a green icon that all my materials have been assigned. If you are done with this, close the file path editor. And now let's begin with material. So first I will pick this one, which is banana leaves, and open the asset editor. As you can see, for reflection color I've given at minimum and for the glossiness 0.75. And for the other material like this, just like the other one, I've lowered the reflection color and given the glossiness to 0.75. Even for the stem, I've given the same reflection color and glossiness 0.75. As for these pebbles, I've given the reflection color to the highest and reflection glossiness to 0.5. For this concrete base, I've given reflection color about 80% and reflection glossiness to 0.5. As for the bump, I've copied the diffuse map and applied to the bump map, then added a wrapping of color correction and lowered the hue and saturation. Then change the lightness mode to gamma left and increase the gamma to 1.86. Now coming back to sofa, as for wood texture, I've given the reflection glossiness to 0.75 and reflection color to half of it. As for the bump, I've copied the diffuse map and added to the bump map, then added a wrap-in color correction and lowered the hue and saturation and increased the brightness a little bit. Then for the amount I have given 0.1. As for the fabric, under reflection, I have given reflection color to the max and reflection glossiness to 0.2. As for the bump, I have added a bump map and given the amount to 0.1. As for this blanket, I've given the reflection glossiness to 0.2 and reflection color to the half. As for the bump, I've copied the diffuse map and added to the bump map, then gave it a wrap-in of color correction and lowered the hue and saturation and changed the lightness mode to gamma, then gave it a gamma value of 1.62 and bump amount of 0.4. Moving to next material, the carpet. I've given a reflection glossiness of 0.2 and same value to reflection color. As for the bump, I haven't given any. Now moving to next one, here's the base of side table. I've given a reflection glossiness of 0.75 and half of it as reflection color. Now for the bump, I've copied the diffuse map and pasted in the bump map, then gave it a wrap-in of color correction and lowered the hue and saturation increase the brightness a little bit when you slightly see the highlights and give it an amount of 0.1. As for this material, I've lowered the glossiness to 0.5 and same amount to reflection color. As for this too, I've given the reflection glossiness to 0.75 and the reflection color to the max. And for this wood texture, same here, reflection glossiness to 0.75 and the color to the max. As for this material, I've replaced with default material called iron blurring. And for this fabric texture, I've given a reflection glossiness of 0.2 and same amount as reflection color. Now moving to this block, I've given reflection of 0.75 and half of it as reflection color. For these small buttons, I've lowered the reflection glossiness to 0.7 and reflection color to the max. As for this string, as for the feathers, I've given reflection glossiness to 0.55 and for the reflection color a little higher than the glossiness. As for the logo, for the base color, I've given full reflection color and reflection glossiness of 0.85. As for the back material, I've given an emissive material with intensity of 5. As for the flooring, I've used the default material called flooring paraquat, and for the walls I've used wooden planks, which is also a default material. You can find this material in Vray asset library under wood and laminate. Now that the material part is done, let's head to lighting. At first you have to begin with setting up the sunlight. To do so, scroll down in the default tray and head to shadows, then unhide the shadows and zoom out a little bit. Then by using this plugin called Solar North, you can toggle this sun position. At first enable the toggle north arrow to see this orange line of the sun position. Then click on set north tool and select a base position, left click, and then just adjust the sun angle like so. Once you are done, just switch off the shadows and right click on your scene to update it. And now to make you understand how different lights affect the room, here I didn't render using material override. If you want to know how to do it, just click on asset editor, head to setting, and here you can enable material override. And this will change all the materials to one default color. And coming back to lights, coming to the first one, I've disabled all the lights and the blue light that you see is coming from the environment, which I have given a value of 10. This works pretty much when you are doing a night render. And for the next one, I've enabled the sunlight and you can see the sunrays falling on my sofa. So here both my environment and sunlight are glowing up the room. Here's a quick comparison between these two. So both my blue and yellow light are blending. And coming to the sun setting, I've given an intensity of 10 and size multiplier to 100. So what it does is reduce the sharpness of the shadows. Here if I reset it, you can see that shadows are sharp. And once I give a value of 100, it will make it blurry by reducing the sharpness. For the next one, I've set a rectangle light on the window. Which is falling on the other side and reflecting back. Coming back to the settings, I've given it intensity of 30. I've increased the directionality to 0.75. What it does is, once if I reset it, here you can see light is spreading on either side of the wall. If I increase the directionality to 0.75, now the light is just focusing on the opposite wall and bouncing it back at the corners. And enable the portal light and make it to accurate. By this way it will blend with both the sun and environment light. So here's a quick comparison between these two. So this was with sun and environment, and this is after adding a rectangle light. Looks pretty good, right? Now to brighten up the corner shadows, I just added a ceiling light. Here you can see the room looks brighter than the earlier. And for the ceiling, I've used spotlight with an intensity of 1000 and changed the unit to radian watt and gave it a shadow radius of 5. So here's an before and after comparison. This was without the ceiling light and this is after adding it. Looks pretty good, right? And here is the comparison after render. Now coming to render setting, disable your progressive, and for quality I usually keep it at medium plus, which takes roughly around 30 to 40 minutes to render. Then for camera, no changes here. And for render output, enable the save frame. And for image width, give it to 1920. And choose the aspect ratio as per your scene. As for the environment, give it a value of 10. And under render parameters, go to global illumination, change it from brute force to irradiance map, and enable the advanced setting. Now under occlusion, give a value of 4 in radius and 0.2 in occlusion amount. As for denoiser, enable it and change the preset. Enable it. That's pretty much it. Now just put it for render. Here's the image. And here's the image after render. It took me around 19 minutes. Now enable this icon, display colors in sRGB. Then head to color correction and click on exposure. Right now I will reset it. To reduce the highlight burn, just enable the force clamping and decrease the highlight burn to the lowest. Once you're done, now increase the exposure a little bit, and like so, decrease the highlight burn. You can even increase contrast a little bit. I think 0.20 would be fine. And that's pretty much it. And I will upload this model and provide a link in description. Also, thank you guys for watching. Stay inspired guys, see you in the next video.